Welcome to Realtor Talk with Steph and Kel.
Hey guys,
Hi, I'm Stefanie Campbell.
and I'm Kelly Dugan.
Whether you're buying, selling, or just curious on the ins and outs of the real estate world, you've come to the right place.
What are we going to talk about on this podcast?
Everything, duh.
You name it, we cover it.
Tune in weekly as we bring you insightful conversations with industry experts, success stories, horror stories, and definitely some laughs along the way.
I guess.
Episode 30. Happy 30th.
We're 30 years old.
We're
It's
30 years
amazing.
old.
We're entering mature status. I remember when Niall turned 30.
What'd you guys do?
I feel like
I feel like he went all out.
well, I don't know if I remember his actual birthday, but I'm just saying, like, I remember that being a monumental, okay, he's a real adult, time to be serious.
You know, I turned 30 in March.
This coming
March.
Whoa. What are you going to do?
I don't know. I don't ever really go crazy on celebrating my birthday.
You don't like your birthday, or?
Not that I don't like it. I definitely enjoy it. I feel like my thing about birthdays is like it really is the one day that like you don't have to share with anybody else. I think it should be celebrated, but I don't like to do a big party. Like I don't want that. But yeah, like I would love, like I want Corey to spoil me. Like he better not skimp, but anyone else I don't really care.
Corey,
He doesn't usually, so that's good.
Okay.
All right, so what are we talking about today, Steph?
What are we talking about on this podcast?
You guys-
Everything, duh.
Back to the submitting of the forums. We love the questions.
Yeah, please submit the forms. We're planning to some interviews. Like, I think it'd be awesome to get like a mold guy on, a radon guy.
Ooh, a mold guy would be really
I know.
good.
I have mold on like the forefront of my brain right now from a recent experience.
What is it? Can you tell?
I don't really want to talk about it.
That answer is not acceptable on this podcast.
Well, let's just say I know somebody that has a lot of mold in their house and it's expensive and I feel bad for them.
Oh, so it's your client.
Maybe.
She'll talk about it in a couple weeks. I get
Yeah,
it.
we'll wait till that puppy's closed.
I have an update on Mary.
Oh, Crazy Mary. Let's hear about Crazy Mary. And also, we are going to review, we're going to call this one Get Off the Sidelines, right?
Yeah, we're going to speak to buyers who have been waiting for the rates to go down since COVID.
I just think I've said this till I'm blue in the face, but I don't think it's like sinking in for people. If I were planning to buy in the next year, I would buy literally like now, like right this very moment in time.
Why?
Because when these rates actually do go down, there's going to be a million buyers.
And we have not gotten more inventory, guys.
No. So I am just saying, again, I have no crystal ball. I can't predict it. But to me, it's most important to get a good price on the home. We've said it 100 times, like you marry the house, you date the rate. You will refinance when the rates go down. If it were me, I would be looking to get as best of deal possible and then refinance that puppy when the rates drop. Because you're going to be competing with all these other... Again, I don't know what could happen, but I'm anticipating a nice spring, and I think
it's going to be very busy.
I do too. I think there's a lot of people sitting on the sidelines thinking that they're going to jump in the game come springtime. And if I were a buyer and I had nothing to sell, that being the key word here, if I had nothing to sell and I was only buying, I would be buying this very minute.
Honestly, even if you have something to sell, I think that now is the best time of year to get any type of contingency accepted. And, on top of that, any type of deal.
That's true.
I would say, honestly, just if I tell all my clients, like, because they all think, or I hope that rates go down in the spring. I personally have never really been one to say the whole okay, marry the rate or date the rate, marry the house. Not that it doesn't make sense. It does. But I kind of am very happy I didn't tell all my clients that in 2021, 2022, because they didn't go down. I think that you get it at a rate where you're still comfortable with the payment and then it's just a bonus.
They're going to go down.
Right. I think they're going to go down
eventually.
Too.
But I mean, that is something to consider. If you can't, of course, afford the house and the monthly payment, that's a different story. If you want to wait because you genuinely want to be able to buy more, like you want to increase your buying power, that I get. I get that.
And there's also too, like when it comes to like right now, my buyers that are shopping at like their max budget, I don't feel like I have this like big warning like I do in the spring when they have all this competition. Like when I have my buyers now, I'm telling them that you are most likely to get a deal between now and this, my deadline is all personal opinion. I wonder what you would think, Steph. I personally think spring market starts mid-January.
Yeah.
No, I think between now and mid-January is like where you will secure the best deal.
Mid-January, people start to come out of hibernation because the holidays, everybody was relaxing.
And leases are usually up in March and April.
Yeah. And I think that, come mid-January, people start to get into the game. But people come February, like every month going further, come February, even more are going to come out. Come March, even more than that are going to come out. Come April, whoa, boom. You know what I mean?
And like back to the max budget thing, like if you are shopping during those really competitive months, and if you happen to be in that really competitive price point, which I would say is probably anything under $450, be careful shopping at your max budget because you're not going to have too much of room to compete and go above asking and do all the things.
100%. Yeah.
So that's also something to keep in mind. And then this speaks to contingent buyers. I feel like Stefanie and I have harped on the podcast about this before, and I called her out of just like a little bit of frustration the other day because.
Wait, are we doing this now? The if you want to make moves, I thought that was the next puppy.
I thought it all tied in.
Oh, are we just doing one today?
I thought so. We have to leave at 3:30.
Okay, I like it. We're just gonna do one today.
We're just gonna do one today. You go on vacation. Let's have a lax day. You leave what, in 2 days?
God, she's really spoiling me today.
I know, and I'm covering your showing for you when you're gone. I'm just thinking of all the ways you can repay me.
You guys, we love Kelly Dugan. All right, have we said it once? We've said it once. We'll say it again. So okay, go ahead. We were gonna call that one if you.
We could still name it that.
If you want to move,
you got to make
moves.
I had posted something the other day about my clients closing on, a house, and it was, on acreage and all this stuff. And I had like literally 3 different people who I wouldn't necessarily call them my clients, but they're somebody who I would assume would probably use me. Like we keep in touch a little bit, but like, oh my gosh, it's exactly what we've been looking for. Oh my, like, okay. As far as I know, you're still hunkered down in that house you've been living in for X amount of years. And my thing is if you are scrolling on Zillow and waiting for the perfect house to tell you that it's time to move, you're way too late. And if you're not too late, you're going to end up paying for it, in my opinion. If you want to move, you have to make moves. And by that, I mean like, okay, if you find yourself keeping the scroll on Zillow, it doesn't matter. Or I'll have people reach out to me and be like, hey, I'm looking for X, Y, and Z. Haven't seen anything though. Let me know. Like, I get that. Oh my God. I get that. Like, I get where they're coming from. I do. But coming from people who do this on a day-to-day basis, you need to get your ducks in a row, especially if you have a house that you need to sell. You have years of living in this house and you're probably just on your couch like, oh no, I haven't found the perfect house yet, so I'm not going to call a realtor until I do. Like once you mentally make the decision that you are wanting to move in the near future, you need to get all your ducks in a row. You need to figure out what your house is worth. You need to do all those preliminary things prior to. And that's when the fun stuff starts happening of like going to see things and doing this and doing that. But you can't just be sitting on these search engine websites waiting for a house to tell you to move because obviously it's probably a unique find if whatever you're looking for pops up. And then guess what? Boom, that's gone. And then that like, it's just like almost like an emotional roller coaster up and down. Like if this one of a kind property pops up every 5 months, you're not going to be ready.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
And I mean, it is funny because so many people, I think, want to move in the back of their brain because the amount of times, back to what you're saying, people message me all the time and say,
hey, let me know. Hey, let me know.
If you ever come across this, let me know. If you ever come across that, let me know. I don't just have like my Rolodex living in my brain.
Right.
That's like, oh, here comes, I saw a property with 5 acres. You know what I mean? We have to sit down and do things the proper way. Like, let's schedule a meeting. I'll put you up on our search. We'll actively add you to our physical in the computer Rolodex to where we're reaching out and talking about these things and kind of keeping it on our radar. But I mean, if I had $1
We need
for
to
every
plan
time,
ahead.
yeah.
There was something else. I just lost my train of thought when you were talking. Oh, you actually, one thing that you've said to me that was super simple, that's always stuck with me though, is like when clients do get that hair up their butt where they're like, oh, this and that. And I know how many things they still need to get in line and get in a row before things can actually look possible for them. It's, what are you going to do if we go and see this and you love it?
Yeah.
That's like a
You
great,
mean ask them that? Yeah.
yeah, asking my clients that, because you know they'll send me this thing that is the perfect thing they've been looking for, and again they're hunkered down in their house that they've been living in for X amount of years, have no idea what it's worth. We're in the dead of winter, and you know all of these things. If you need the funds from your house to buy your next one, I'm sorry, but you have really no business looking at houses until you figure out what's going to happen with yours, because nothing will happen if you don't figure that out first. Like that is literally the first step.
That reminds me of my poor clients that had a deal cancel on them. I think it was summertime, where we went under contract with them, and I talked about it in the podcast. They raced us to get attorney review wrapped up, and then they realized that they couldn't find anything to buy, so they canceled on us. Like, shame on that realtor for never talking to her clients about, hey guys, where are you going to go if you sell? Like, there's so much planning that goes into place, and it's not difficult. It's just it's just so simple to have a meeting with us and for us to kind of plot out steps 1 through 10. You know what I mean? It's not
easier
that complicated
for all of us if we do that. And
yeah,
it's that. So that's my biggest PSA is, if you truly do want to move in the near future, schedule a meeting with, you know, us, hopefully, or your realtor, because that is the number one thing that you need to figure out first. Unless you're not contingent. If you're like, hey, I don't need to sell my house in order to buy my next one, that's a possibility
awesome.
too. That's
Great.
awesome. Great. We still have to talk about what you're looking for, what your budget is, what your must-haves are, what your deal breakers are. It's not a simple Instagram message of like, hey, if you come across a good investment in Lincoln Way, you know, this and this and this, like, let me know. Like, I don't know. I just feel like as a professional realtor who deals with these things on a day-to-day basis, I know the steps and I know the process of how to actually get to the finish line. And I think it just drives me a little bit crazy when people have the wrong outlook on it, if that makes sense.
No, that makes perfect sense. And something we were thinking, just because, again, we'll call it, if you want to move, make moves. But like I'm stressing, here's my PSA. Buy now if you can.
Yes.
Buy now if you can.
Oh, 100%.
But
I want to actually like put like a bookmark on this, like episode 30 that we did, and then talk about, because we're going to go over we're going to do a quick market update. Stephanie's going to cover, you know, the city. I'm going to do a little bit of the burbs, and I do want to like bookmark it, because then we can kind of do like, okay, this is kind of what we thought would happen, or predictions wise. We think competitiveness, we think the listings. I don't think we're going to get I think naturally we get more listings in the spring, but I think that the struggle of low inventory is going to remain for quite some time.
Unless we get these darn interest rates lowered.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, again,
more people will sell if there's interest rates that lower the interest rates, because it'll incline them. Because right now, people who just think about like the boomer generation, they bought in the late 90s, early 2000s, and they probably got their house for a fraction of what it would be worth today. I know the interest rates were higher back then, but I'm sure they've refinanced since, or they don't have a mortgage entirely. So like mom and dad, grandma and grandpa who have this like big house that they raised their family in, like now would be the natural time for them to downsize. And it's not feasible because they're either have no mortgage or they have a crazy low interest rate, and nothing justifies them to give that up to get into their downsizer house. Whereas if rates go down, it's obviously going to be incentivizing for buyers to buy.
Can you look, when did rates first tick up? I'm just curious.
That's a good question.
Can you look that up for me? Because I want to see if there's any correlation to what I'm looking at right now. Sorry, I just totally cut you off. What were you saying?
Okay, I forgot.
I feel like I remember when it happened because I had that Hinsdale house for sale. And I remember, I couldn't tell you. I needed my phone.
I'm going to say interest rates in January 2020 versus January.
I think, was it 2022?
Let's see.
that they started to creep up.
During the COVID pandemic, mortgage interest rates dropped to a record low with 2.65% reached in January of 2021. This led to a large amount of refinancing activity with the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston, estimating that people saved $5.3 billion. Okay, but when do they tick up? Oh, wait, here, mortgage rates history over time.
Oh, there we go.
Let's see.
Oh, perfect. Oh, that goes to 2020.
No, well, still right here. So right here, we were probably at that like 2%. Let me see. Oh, here.
Why is it
okay? So 2020, we're looking at an average of 3.1.
So in 2023, they started to tick up in 2022.
They started to tick up in 2022. So right here it says average interest rate for 2020. This was obviously right in the beginning of COVID. We were at that 3.1. I do remember 2021 being super, super hot because it was below 3. I have a client that is literally locked into a 2.75 interest rate,
and they started to creep up,
and then in 2022 5.34,
and that was
a jump.
In 2023 it was 6.81. Okay, I was just curious because right now I'm looking at the downtown loop kind of market data, and so it's just funny because the average sales price in recent times is about 430,000 in July of 2022, and then it just started to consistently decrease since then, and it kind of bottomed out at 390 in April of 2024, which is remarkable because that was the springtime that it kind of started to hit a low, and then we've been creeping back up slowly. We're at 410. Like I said, it was 430 was the average. Let's look at market time. So market time was the highest in February of 2022, again, when interest rates were really high, so things were sitting on the market. And market time has been slowly kind of creeping down. Right now, it's at 105 days on market. So again, that's going to be significantly different than the suburbs. The city is still a little bit on the struggle bus. Month supply, it was... in May of 2021 was actually at 11.9 months supply. That is a lot of inventory. And again, we're talking about that downtown market, which was heavily affected by COVID. And then the days started to go down in April and that summer. They creeped down to 5.3. We're currently at 5 months supply. So that's how many months would it take to absorb the inventory that's currently on the market. That is like the biggest indicator I actually like to look at when I'm looking at the health of any kind of network that we're in. So around 4 months, I think, is a healthy market. Some will say 6 months, but I think that is leaning more on the buy side. I think that's too much inventory. I think 4-ish months is a better number to be at. So
we haven't seen that in the suburbs in a while, I'll tell you that.
No, I know. So
and like sad looking at these numbers. I have
it's scary.
I have Lincoln Way District pulled up on mine, and it's the average sales price in 2021. Just seeing for New Lenox being 300,000, like that is. I mean, and even Frankfurt 333, and then we're going to 2024, and we're well in the fours. We're at 400,000, 4.25.
Wow.
And it's just insane because since then, obviously, rates have increased too. It's just, I think a lot of it is such sticker shock. Can
you pull up the month supply?
Yeah.
So
2021, we were still low. We had 2.5, 2 to, I guess, 2.4 months of inventory. And then obviously 2022 is when we started to get real low inventory.
Gosh,
and
they're at 1.3.
1.3. This was when it was hot. This was like, this would have been, this honestly was probably one of the most stressful times in my life, this market. It was like, oh my gosh, just submitting offers left and right and just getting beat. And this was when I was still kind of newer. So I was working with majority of buyers. Like I remember not having like, a plethora of listings at this time. And I was just tired. And I remember getting COVID. I got COVID in the midst of all of it. And it was just, honestly, I would not go.
You survived.
I survived.
I know.
I survived.
She's resilient, this young buck.
Yeah. Well, I know. Me and Stefanie actually determined today that we think we have a little bit higher of testosterone than the average woman. but I blame
I don't know if that's something we should advertise. But
it's the podcast. And I think this job does that to you, truly.
Maybe.
Wait, I could talk about Mary really quick, just my frustration this week.
Oh yeah, well first let's finish this topic.
Okay, sorry.
Let's say
I was jumping around. That's mine.
I just want to know for right now. I think this is interesting. So inventory in the suburbs currently today, the Lincoln Way district, we're looking at 1.8 for New Lenox, 1.7 for Frankfurt, 1.6 for Mokina. Again, comparing that, and Manhattan's 2.1. Comparing that to the downtown loop, I'm looking at 5 month supply. So again, that just goes to show you still suburb market to city market. And then in the city, there's so many different subsets. So I'll pull up a couple. Just go ahead and talk about your Crazy Mary while I'm doing this.
This is just a prime example of just how, and I know it's part of the job of just like the time wasted and just kind of the lack of anything. So, she submitted the offer on the one, and then of course, pulled out after it was just a roller coaster of emotions, what I talked about in the Buyers Are Liars podcast. And then actually I was going to Tennessee. We were going to look at wedding venues, and I paid another agent to show her because I was going to be out of town. So that's something a lot of people, don't realize, that we are our own bosses. Stefanie and I cover each other's showings when we can, but we're obviously both really busy. So sometimes you got to, have other agents show for you. And she loved it, this and that, submitted an offer. I was, on vacation, submitted the offer to the agent. And one thing when I submit offers for my clients, I don't submit them lightly. Like, I am calling the agent. I am going out on a limb for them. I'm putting my neck out for them. I'm trying everything in my power to get your offer accepted outside of the terms that you agreed and signed to. I'm on like the psychological aspect of it. And of course, it was an agent out of my office. And so she submitted this offer, and it was a strong offer,
Oh my God.
What?
Are you talking about when she canceled?
Yes, the second time.
When she pulled her contract out?
Yes.
And then my buyer said canceled on that same
agent.
agent.
Oh, yes. And then, in the midst, in the midst of it, so I called Stefanie, kind of told her, and I was like, it is the same agent who had a listing for Stephanie's buyers, and Stephanie's buyers pulled out on him. And I'm, then of course I'm like, gosh, I feel bad. I'm going to submit this offer on a client of mine who I'm really not, I wasn't getting the vibe that, actually though, day one, she totally loved it. She wanted to submit an offer. I made sure, blah, blah, blah. It was a strong offer. I think we came in a little bit above list because it was multiples, this and that. And then, it takes however long. He said, we're going to submit offers. We're going to review them tomorrow. We'll get back to you in 24 hours, whatever it may be. It was maybe 48 hours, but I had not really heard from Mary much after submitting that offer, and it's very unlike Mary.
And I love that. First of all, we've nicknamed her Crazy Mary, and Kelly calls her Crazy Mary to me on the phone, but that's really not her real name.
No,
so everybody knows. But even when you and I are just talking about it solo,
I know. One day I'm going to call her Mary on accident. And so I am not hearing from her, and I think it's a little weird because usually my phone's blowing up. So before he's about to and I had a strong feeling because, again, I don't submit offers from my clients lightly. I'm keeping in touch with the agent. I'm making sure hey, what's our competition like? What is there anything else we got to do? I'm trying to get this done because my client wants this house apparently. And I'm not hearing from her. So the agent calls me, basically says yeah, it's looking good. I think that we're going to be going with you guys, yada, yada, yada. And I even said to him, I'm like, all right, let me call my client really quick. I'll give you a call back. Because again, our reputation in this business is everything. And me having a good reputation with agents is literally only going to help every single one of my clients down the road. So it's something I'm always aware of. And so I call her, hey Mary, I'm like, so how you feeling? I don't know. I don't think this is the one. I'm like, well, when were you planning on telling me? I'm glad I called you because we literally are about to get our offer accepted. So you're sure about this? You totally not the one. Yeah, just so nonchalant. Yeah, no, not the one. I'm like, okay. I'm like, well, we can't keep on just running around and breaking hearts and doing this and rescinding offers and doing the things. We really just have to be serious about what it is you're looking for, this and that. And it was, of course, right over, she just doesn't care. And then, so since then, we've been going on showings like crazy. A lot of them she can't make it to. So I'm just sending, videos and very in-depth videos and getting everything on the private network. Everything that pops up, it's like, hey, could we go see this today? Sure. You know, like it's been very high gas or foot on the gas, I guess is a good way to put it. It's been foot on the gas since end of summer. So we went and saw a private listing on Tuesday. And so she liked the videos that I sent because, you know, her friend comes with and sees them because she's out of town or she's up north. And she loves it. I think I'm going to spend an offer. Let's schedule a showing for Thursday. I can come and see it. Okay, cool. Now, mind you, it's just like back and forth crazy nonstop with me and this woman since, again, end of summer. She texted me one sentence this morning. It's Thursday morning, by the way. Hey, cancel today's showing. Gonna hold off till spring. And that's it. All I said was just okay.
How many houses do you think you've seen with her?
Oh, well over 20.
Okay.
I mean, nothing like crazy, but like it's not even necessarily the showing part of it. It's just.
How many times did she message you?
Oh, we talk all the time.
Like every day?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Easy.
Oh.
Easy every day.
I just want to say I love all my clients right now.
Yeah. And again, I can't like emphasize enough that this is part of the job, but I just wanted to put it out there because it's like my time means something too. And like, I want to help my clients in every single way that I can, but there needs to be honesty. There needs to be transparency. There needs to just be like, sometimes I just want to be like, I almost don't have time for the preliminary stuff in this sense.
Honestly, who can probably relate to us so much is like waitresses and waiters.
Oh, for sure.
Because like, it's like almost 100% of people are like friggin' awesome. And then it's that 1%er of like cuckoo bears.
Like zero, and not that I'm looking for a thank you, this and that, but like I've gone above and beyond for this woman for months now.
Normal's good.
Yes, I've gone above and beyond for this woman for months now, and just even the communications between the agent, like she wants every single bit of piece of information before we even go and see something. So it's like I'm doing all this like research prior to, like it's just. And again, I know it's my job, but it's just like for her to just kind of be like, yep, nope. Holding off till spring. I literally just said back okay, because it's like I'm to a point where I want good clients, I want nice clients, I want clients who appreciate me, because I will get the job done. Like whatever you need, I will 1000% get the job done for you, but it's got to be a two-way street. Like I'm kind of sick of the I guess idea of like we need to bend over backwards and do like without any appreciation, right?
Right.
Is that saying too much?
No, it's not saying too much.
Okay.
This is
actually
Kelly's therapy session. About, I mean, I've heard about Crazy Mary plenty, but now you guys could hear about Crazy Mary.
And that's literally. I feel like I've never really singled out any of my clients on the podcast. So that should tell you 99.9% of my clients are just.
Don't lie now. I mean, I'm sure we've singled out.
I mean, yeah, maybe I've told some scenarios, but for the most part, gosh, I do love my clients. They're so appreciative. And honestly, that's even from like my past job. If there's one thing with working with the public and like customer service, you want to go above and beyond for the people who appreciate you. Right?
Amen, sister.
You don't have anything to talk about or bring to the table?
Me?
Any stories?
Me over here?
Yeah.
I was just looking at the data. I'm sure I do. I'm sure I have plenty to say, but I just can't think of anything on the top of my head. I'm in vacation mode right now. I leave Saturday till Saturday, which is nice. Scary thought, because I already am like, oh no, I'm missing this. Oh no, I'm missing that. Ah.
I know.
You know, it's hard, especially when you have the listings that you have to be at. That is the hardest part. I have an inspection at 8 a.m. tomorrow in the city. Super excited about that. Belle's under contract.
Yeah.
So thank you, Jesus.
That is phenomenal news.
Yeah. Really excited. I mean, I think this is a really hard time a lot of this we wanted to cover was the market update. And me personally, I'm just really wanting anybody that wants to move this next year to do it right now, because I think it's a great opportunity. But who knows? I could eat my own words. It'll be interesting to check in with you guys in 6 months to see where the market's at and what's going on. But
yeah, takeaways are, if you're a buyer this time of year, get moving.
Yeah.
I would say try your best to make it work, because it really...
And to follow the proper channels. Let's take it seriously. Let's meet. And it's okay. If we just start the process now and you decide not to move for 6 months because of your own personal journey, then absolutely. Let's wait 6 months.
Right.
You know?
Totally. I actually saw something like the other day, I forget who posted it. I think it was an agent, but I don't know if it was like a meme or whatever, but it was saying how like if sellers they have like an unrealistic wait or list price and they're like, I'm not in a rush. And you'd be like, okay, well, I'm not in a rush either. Like you call me when you're ready to sell because you know, if you,
and I think that's something I really want to stress actually is that we don't dictate the market. Like people
don't.
It's so I have some sellers with ants in their pants right now. And I can feel that they're wanting more showings and wanting this or that on their listings. And it's really when we have done everything professional on our end. And I mean, we do like I take the marketing of my properties very seriously, as I know Kelly does too, where professional photos, floor plans, often a video, professional brochures, like the
communication
description
with other agents,
MLS,
like getting it
like,
out there, everything
is like perfect. If you are not getting the reaction that you want, that is the market denying your property at the price that you have it listed. End of story. That is out of our control.
Period.
Yeah, like it's so, you know, it's hard for people to understand that because they don't want to believe what the market is telling them about their price. Because if you put $100,000 into your place and it's only, you know, let's say you think it's worth 500 and it's denied and you put $100,000. I mean, I'm sorry, if you're losing $100,000, there's nothing we can do about it.
100%.
I can't put a gun to people's head and make them buy your home. You know, a lot of it has to do with the competition that you're currently competing with too. So
competition, condition, time of year. There's so many. I mean, rates. I mean, there's so much. The holidays coming up. Like there are a lot of factors that go into this specific market. So,
and when we meet with you as a seller, we'll go through all those things. Like, okay, here's the comps. This is what we're looking for. Why do you think that your place is worth $100,000 more than all of your competitors? It makes
right.
You know what I mean? Like.
And when you phrase it to that, like, they really don't have anything to rebuttal.
No. Well, they're like, well,
that
one. My house is, you know, that was filthy and smelled. I'm like, okay,
right.
All
Yeah,
right.
That was my daughter's childhood friend. And she said every time she went in there, like this, and it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Anyway, but okay.
All right. Thanks for letting me vent, guys.
We're going to hang up.
I promise. Like now, you know, when you get like some, they're like, oh, should I said that story? But whatever. Today's an I don't care mode, I guess.
I mean, you guys, it's fine. You can be the judge. You can leave a comment and say whether Kelly overstepped her. You can message me privately if you don't want to hurt her feelings.
Yeah, I swear I'm a really nice person.
Sure. I'm just kidding. You are the best. I love you dearly.
Oh
You're an amazing human being, and everybody that knows you loves you.
Wow.
Even Crazy Mary
I
loves
know
you.
she does love me. I actually do. I think her and I kind of have like, you know, that like aunt or like friend's mom that like is like you just know that you guys are always going to be good, but like you fight a little. Like that's kind of a little bit I feel like her and I in a way. Like we definitely both are
I think
firm
a lot
enough
of people can relate to that.
Yeah. All right.
It's
I love
okay.
you, Mary.
People people love your honesty.
All right.
That's what we're here
I guess
for.
I'll just keep banking on that then. Hopefully I'm not clientless in a few years.
Oh my God.
All right, guys. That's all we have for
that's
today.
enough. We've gone over. It's 30 minutes.
Yeah,
or
this
so.
was a long one for just us.
Okay,
All right.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening.
Tune in weekly for new episodes.
Follow the link in the show notes to answer our survey and have your topics talked about on Realtor Talk with Steph and Cal.
Thanks for listening. Until next time.
Bye.
Ciao.